Welcome back, everybody. We're going into the second hour of... Oh, boy. Are you okay, Blue Jay? This is becoming a meme, you know. Like, this
no,
whole
it's
starting
Dave.
the show...
This is Dave. It's not about me.
Starting the
Look
show
at that
with you giggling
madman.
about
What?
something has become a thing.
What?
It's a thing now.
I don't see anything.
It's not bad. It's not bad. I like it. It's a good meme. It's a good meme. It's a happy meme.
David Human.
It's me.
Mr.
I wasn't
David
even
Human.
making it up. It wasn't even. I could have made it up and it would have been still a really good story, but I didn't even.
Yeah.
Oh, boy. That's your new name, though. Like, that's it. It sounds like you're a character from a Neil Gaiman story, right? Like, Mr. David Human woke up in his house at 123
Yeah.
British Avenue.
It's Gaiman, by the way.
You know what? If you like Neil Gaiman so much, why don't you marry him?
He's okay. Sure. I can fucking do it. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So anyway, nerds.
Brute.
I liked how that one. He's blank. Okay, sure.
Yep.
There was gonna be some resistance, but he just realized it was pointless.
I was referring to a different person, Mr. Guy Man.
Mixed it.
He's not a very popular fan fiction author, but you know he's coming up in the world. All right.
Oh god.
So, everyone returns to the Tipsy Kobold, what have you been up to?
When we say the Tipsy Kobold, are we talking about me?
I'm talking
or
about
are we
you.
talking
Yeah,
about-
I'm talking
Okay.
about you. You are the Tipsy Kobold. I don't. There's no tavern
There's
named
no
that.
tavern named that.
There
No,
ought to be.
I didn't think so. I mean, my entire I imagine during this whole thing, were it a movie and were it like vaguely comedy, in a comedy styling, that it would have been like I'm sitting at this table with like an ale and like my big book like open on the counter of this thing, like flipping through it, and every now and then during the fight scene or like some guy gets shot with an arrow and then it like cuts the music and like smash cuts back to the kobold just like turn.
Why, yes, I will have another beer. Thank you.
Yeah. I mean, that's basically it. Like, I haven't really been doing that much.
Some rioter gets thrown through the window. You just brush some glass off of your book.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So this tavern, you're all sitting around. You've got this map laid out on the table of the local area that Lane has produced. And what are you what are you telling them, Lane? What's the situation here?
So, as you know, the main problem in the city recently has been the lack of trade coming in and out. And I believe we have this fellow and another bandit leader to blame. Now, before we start coming up with, frankly, what are likely to be some honestly kind of crazy plans, there is also a gang of kobolds led by a dragonborn. We're going to want to have to deal with both of them. But I feel like there's probably more to this Sand Krulik than was being let on. A bounty that high for a bandit? A bounty that high at all?
Do we have an idea
I
of
hate
where
this
to
guy.
find them?
He's the worst. So the thing is, the bounty, just to help you have a sort of political understanding of the situation, he like personally spearheaded some kind of like he's like a kind of a Guy Fawkes figure, right? And then he planned to kill the or have like a conspiracy to kill the Lord Regent. So there may be a personal aspect to that, like let's get rid of him situation. Just wanted to put that out there for you.
Well,
Yep.
yeah, I ask, is there any lead on where to find these bandits, or are we to just go tromping into the woods and hope that they stumble upon us?
Well, we know that they've been attacking. So perhaps what might be pertinent is, since we know we would be attacked if we were to look as if we were part of a defenseless caravan, we...
So what you're saying is you want to bait them into attacking us?
Yes, Gravaris, Oleander, are both incredibly good at staying hidden.
I also have more sense than to walk in a room with my neck out, waiting for it to be severed.
Well, thankfully, some of us, and I'd like tap myself, wear gorgets.
Yes, indeed. Rub my neck. There's no gorget at all.
It was a gorget, my mistake.
Yes, as the ancient warrior Wu Tang once said, you must protect your neck. It's very important. So what are you gonna do? You want to go straight to the? You want to go straight to the thing? Do you want to?
Do you want to ask about the jail?
Oh, of course, I need to tell you about that.
Yeah.
Yes, we have a lead on some more information. A place, and I'd like to point at it on the map when I say it's Grimshackle Jail. It rings a bell, but
You want us to go to a prison?
Not like I haven't been to one of those before.
Yes.
yes, you don't need to go inside the prison. It's not going to be a covert operation. They're prisoners there.
Oh, you have some kind of contact. Very well. I thought, when you say like go and talk to someone in prison, my first thought, and maybe this is just me, but my first thought is, how are we going to get into a prison? But I don't have friends in the...
Generally, if you haven't been arrested, you can just go in.
Yes,
I
might need...
suppose old warrants for me would be...
It's true. It's a good way to get out of. It's a good way to get out of being arrested. Like, we're looking for a human woman. There's a little lizard creature here. Nope. All right, moving on.
Yes, I suppose old warrants for me are a little
Adam,
out of date.
Yes.
what do I know about the prison with my history roll that I just made?
Let me take a look. With an 11 on a history roll. Do you want to ask Mask for assistance on that? I ask because you almost always roll that extra d4, and it's sort of pointless not to. There you go.
15. That probably takes it up a notch in the Adventurers League thing.
So, I think that the Grimshackle Jail, you've heard this word before. You know about the jail. It's run by and named after the Grimshackle brothers, a pair of reformed criminals. They were arrested. They ran a smuggling ring in and out of Flan through the Moon Sea for years, like decades.
When I hear
guys.
reformed criminal, I hear it's essentially like you saying turncoat.
Yes, perfect. That's you're on point with that. So they're snitches, rats, however else you want to put that, bunch of finks. The two of them turned and put a bunch of people in jail. And use the money that they mysteriously came into to buy some land up the Stojano River and build this prison. Basically what happens is in Flan, if you are arrested for something that is less than worth of being hanged from the gate, you are usually forced into like indentured servitude. But Flan doesn't have that much work for everyone necessarily, right? There's construction work and stuff, but outside that, they have more criminals and they have things to do with them. And so they'll sell their contract to private jails or whatever, like to basically deal with them. So that's the Grimshackle have this nice arrangement with the city of Flan, where Flan has too many people and the Grimshackle will buy them from the city.
Prison industrial complex.
Yes, and then they either use them for work or they sell them to other things. They've been doing a great trade to like pirates on the Moon Sea. They trade to if you're a warlock and you need someone to experiment on, just come on and talk to the Grimshackle brothers. They got lots of living volunteers. So bad dudes generally. To be sold to Grimshackle Jail is to be never heard from again. It's a dark fate. Most people would rather have done the crime that has them hanged from the gate.
And so, who was the fellow that was being held there?
You don't know his name. One of the gray patriots has been.
So one of the members of that.
Of that gang or the other. They suspect he's a gray patriot, but yeah.
So we could potentially go to this jail and maybe persuade this fellow to reveal his compatriots? Is that which is, and she's like starting to look like, oh, that would be nice. Like torturing someone for information. That sounds like what I need right now.
I was gonna say, yeah, put you in the right mood.
Yeah.
Maybe we could just buy his contract.
Also possible.
Spoil everything.
Not to mention that would sort of, legally at least, put him at our disposal.
So you want to take this man who is a member of the group that we are tasked with breaking up and get him out of jail scot-free.
Let me. What this would be is if we buy the contract of the person who is in the prison, then for all intents and purposes, they are going to be very grateful to not be in the prison anymore, and thus want
That
to
would be
help
the
us.
nice thing to do, wouldn't it?
I'm not
Except that they
sure.
would be in our custody, which
I don't really like the idea of keeping someone.
We don't,
neither do I, but we don't.
we
have to.
I was going to say we don't have to keep him.
I mean, if he has useful information, we should perhaps go get it. Otherwise, we can just wander into the forest and hope we get accosted by bandits.
Also a good choice.
If we have one of their number with us, that would be something we could use to negotiate with the bandits. If they are political, then they probably have a certain camaraderie amongst one another with value of the return of one of their own.
I'm not entirely convinced as yet that these patriots don't perhaps, well, their leader at least was not perhaps onto something in his treachery. To be forced out simply because you were trying to oust a tyrant, it's difficult.
Listen, give me a way to be close enough to this person, and I guarantee you we will learn something.
Let's
I could
give that a
guarantee
try
you
then.
the same thing, but I think our tactics would be quite different.
I like that. Ominous and effective.
You know,
Yes, well,
my new
that's
patron
okay.
provides me with all kinds of fun, charming
Oh, yeah.
powers.
I know, right? It's great. I'm excited.
Yeah, so I think our first stop is to the Grimshackle jail then, and see what we can find out before we come up with
Certainly.
another plan.
Let's make our way then.
Okay. All right. So you basically just want to head out and head north along the river. How do you walk? Are you gonna just because there's a path up the side of the river, but you could also hire a boat to take you up north.
I don't want to go on a boat.
Fair. Okay, that's fine. Okay, so you'll walk then, I presume, unless you want to rent horses. But walking is easiest. It's not that far. I mean, if you hike along the river, it's like a 3-hour walk to get there. So
That's not that long. Good
Okay.
cardio.
yeah, exactly. I mean, a 3-hour hike in plate armor, you got to be a tough guy to be able to pull that off. But okay, so you leave. I presume not in the middle of the night. You want to wait till the next day.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So you rest at the inn above the Tipsy Kobold, or I guess below, depending on where the kobold is. And the next day you leave for Grimshackle Jail. The day, like the one before it, is cold and damp, though it's fog this time, not rain. There's a heavy fog that's rolled in from the sea, and when you arrive 3 hours into the day at Grimshackle Jail, it is shrouded in a deep cloak of cold fog, and your cloaks are soaked through. Your boots are squishing. You've walked through the mud, and you arrive. And you see Grimshackle Jail. So Grimshackle Jail, let me read the box text because it's actually quite good for once. Grimshackle Jail clings like a drowned man to the rocky bank of the Stojano River. Rotten timber sags from the tower's walls and its outbuildings stand in ruin. Rooks nest in the crenels of the tower's battlement, so you can see big black ravens up at the top. There's a broad wall that encircles the tower's base, and a large gatehouse exit onto the path that you're on. A slatted peephole is fitted at human eye level in the stout iron-bound door. So big, nasty-looking tower, wall around it, some outbuildings that have fallen into ruin, and it's kind of like, it looks like it's just like wetly emerged from the river and fallen down on the side of the river and died. And it's just sort of like there, covered in moss and birds. You approach the gatehouse.
Is there someone like hanging out, looking out for people approaching, or?
No, just a big, heavy wooden door.
Right. So are we looking to buy this man, or are we looking to have some time with him?
Either way, really. If we have some time and the time doesn't work out, then we buy him, because then we won't. You know what I mean? Like, whatever works first is
Yeah.
probably
So-
the best plan.
On our way here, we've been having this whole conversation.
Sure.
Mhm.
Mhm.
And Graveris's thought is that we come in as if we are here to just buy a prisoner, not a specific one,
Mhm.
to see if this guy is even up for sale. And given the we don't expect that they'll actually want to part with him necessarily, because of the sensitive nature of the possible political situation. But we can try to buy him, and then even if they don't necessarily want to let us buy him, we might get enough info on
Perhaps some people could attempt to buy him, and some people could attempt to, while they are distracted, go and get them.
Well, that's the thing, right? Yeah.
All right. Well, I suppose we'll follow your lead, Gravaris, and let us know.
So it's a
Um,
social job, and our connection is
Yeah. I was
I-
gonna say.
I'm feeling some Blades in the Dark vibes here.
Yeah, the more we have adventures like this, the more I think it would be fun to do a Blades in the Dark game set in like the Forgotten Realm, set in Flan. It's a good city for it. I would like to know, looking at this map, like I had a cursory glance over it earlier and I know where things are, but I realized, why is it that you have to keep going on adventures to all these terrible places like the Iron Root and the ruins of Zentil Keep? Why can't we go on an adventure to Ticklebelly Hills?
Ticklebelly Hills. I saw that. I was just like, what?
That's the most terrifying place of all. Look out for that. So what is the plan? So do you want to have two people? Because you could theoretically like scale the walls and sneak into the tower. It has windows. But yeah, what do you want to do?
I mean,
I feel like, or sorry, go ahead.
no. I mean, I think that what you were saying in terms of them maybe not wanting to part with this particular prisoner could be true, and having two tactics, not necessarily the worst thing, but also sneaking into a prison and getting someone out would be difficult.
Not really a fan of being arrested. Personally.
It's likely not worth it for the information. I think we could find them anyway. Don't do anything that will put either of yourselves in danger. I assume I'm going with Gravaris.
Yeah, we'll be the buyers, and the two of you can try to find a way in.
Mm.
Very well.
Because Anastasia can become invisible now.
Yeah.
It's like you don't even need to be sneaky. You just
Yeah, I think both of us are like, okay.
But it's like, okay, so the teams are Lane and Graveris and Anastasia and Oleander, and we just look at each other like,
this again.
So I actually just to quickly point out, because I forgot that you have this magic item, Gravaris. Everyone in the party is damp and uncomfortable and feel like shit except Gravaris. Gravaris, you are warm and cozy and not covered in damp.
Yeah, and I have my
water.
hood up all the time,
Yeah.
and like blending in with the country.
Yeah, the cloak has taken on a kind of grayish cast because of the fog.
Looks great.
Ugh.
Looks good.
Yeah.
Feels good. You're having a good time.
I look
Damp and
fly,
scales.
Yeah, that's
my
true.
elven kind cloak.
All right. So then you guys are gonna go try and talk to them, and Anastasia and I are gonna try and like sneak.
That sounds
Yeah, we'll like all go in together, but then
Then we'll wander off on our own.
yeah, y'all will try
That's a
to.
great idea inside a prison. Let's do
I
it.
know.
I'm so down.
I'm really looking forward to this.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So you walk up to the heavy wooden door.
And yeah, I guess I'll just like bang on it.
Okay, cool. It rattles. You pound on it with your fist.
I make a point of banging on it really slowly
Mhm.
so that it's cool in the movie version of the show.
All right. You hear like a faint from the gatehouse, because it's like a little house built into the wall. You hear it's like a snorting sound, so like, and then quiet again.
I like roll my eyes. I'm like, some prison.
And then just
Yeah, you hear a voice from in the gatehouse. Okay, hold on. And then you hear muffled footsteps, then a pause, and then a creaking sound, and then a scraping noise, then a thump on the other side of the door, a few more footsteps, and then as the little eye slit opens. On the other side, the people snaps open. You see a pair of glaring amber-colored eyes, and they sneer at you. And you hear, "What do you want?"
we're here to buy some contracts.
And then you can see them kind of like lean to see, and they're like, "Do you have appointment?"
We have lots of money.
Well armed. I don't know. Maybe we are
Would
not
you
selling
walk
contracts
around in
today.
Parts without weapons.
Make a persuasion check.
And of course, with the guidance of Mask, buffered before going into this.
Sure.
That'll
First
cost you
aid.
1 stress.
I honestly feel like here's a hack. I mean, here's some free game design for everybody watching at home. If you have a cleric that does this all the damn time, you could just make it a feature of their class. Whenever you make a skill check, roll an extra d4 and add the result to your skill check, because
because
it's
when
not a separate
wouldn't
thing.
your
When wouldn't
god be like helping you out?
Exactly. The only
What I
difference
think
is
would be interesting is to blend it with the proficiency, like to do it like rogue expertise, where like they get certain skills that
Yeah.
are relevant to their spheres.
exactly. Yeah, instead of just being a
But anyway.
spell. The only drawback to it being a spell is you have to cast it. You have to say it out loud and like be able to do that. But you
Yeah.
could just say, as long as you are able to cast a spell, you get a +2 to whatever. Anyway,
Yeah.
okay, so you get a 20. Okay, he says it's like, you want to buy specific contract or just anyone?
We were hoping to look at the stock that was available.
Okay, browsing fee is 20 pieces of gold apiece. That is 80 total.
I'll tell you what.
We'll
I'll
stay
give you-
outside.
I'll give you 30 for all of us.
And he has to stand up and like look down through the people to see you. Okay. You want to try to persuade him to bring the number down? Okay. yeah,
Because
go
he's clearly just making shit up.
ahead. Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Anytime Adam does this particular voice, it's someone trying to take our money.
I mean, oh boy.
That's
That was
perception. I
perception.
rolled the wrong
Roll
thing.
again. Okay, that's fair. That's fair. Click the wrong. Whoa! Take that randomness. Fuck you.
Wow.
Welcome to the Chaos Plateau, everyone.
So for a moment, he's like, you can see him drawing his knife, and then he's like, "Wait, I love you." And
It's the Fey presence.
yeah, it's definitely a present. Yeah, and he's like, fine, 30. And you see, he reaches up, and this like grubby little hand comes out of the people, and he's like,
Yeah, very well. Here. And I just like,
Bribe the dude.
the coins. Yeah.
all right, you give him
Of
the
course, like he's leaning through the slot, and I'm like reaching up to the slot.
Yeah.
This is the
I'll
most,
be the go-between.
the most awkward exchange ever.
Yeah. Okay. So you hear him. He takes it and he like you know, you can hear him jingling the bag. You hear him open it, and he's like 1, 2, 3, 4. 5, and he,
Counts to like
counts-
17 and then
he
can't
counts
go any
every,
higher.
He counts every single coin. You hear him like close the pouch. He's like, okay, hold on, and he closes the thing, climbs down the down. You hear rattling and scraping, and then you hear the door open, and he, I guess it would open out. He starts to push the door open, and when he does, you don't. Anastasia, you're the only one that sees him at eye level. Everybody else you see over him. He is a halfling. He's down at like waist height. He's bald. He's got a big scar on his head. He's basically round. He's essentially like a sphere. He's wearing leather armor that is slightly too small for him. So the laces in the side are like squishing all his like pudge out the side. And he's got a big nasty looking like kind of Bowie knife on his belt. And he grins up at you, and he extends a hand with like big thick rings on every finger. He puts his hand up. He's like, welcome to Grimshackle Jail. I am Bevik Grimshackle. Half this place is mine. Does anybody shake his hand or just leave him?
Yeah, Graveris isn't about to.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? No, Graveris is too much of a smooth operator. I totally shake his hand, even though I hate his guts.
Okay. All right. So you shake his hand, and he looks at you, and he sees you're traveling with a dark elf and a kobold. And then Lane, give me how obviously like shining beacon of justice are you?
Like not actually very. I have like dark iron plate armor.
Okay.
I mean, the symbol of Torm is visible. I have my greatsword, but I also have a shield and a longsword. So it'd be on my shield, and it'd probably be on a pauldron.
Okay. All right.
But Torm is a neutral god, I believe. Maybe neutral god. I'll look it up. I'll look it up in a minute.
Yeah, Torm is like, well, no, Tyr is the god of law. Torm is the god of justice.
Defending people, like protection.
Superman. He's Superman.
Is it in the DMG or is it in Player's Handbook?
I'm just gonna look it up on the internet because the internet knows everything about the Forgotten Realms.
Oh well, I had continually thought that his god was the like law god.
No, that's Tyr. Tyr, the even-handed god
extra
of.
salty.
Torm is lawful
No.
good,
There you go.
god of courage and self-sacrifice.
Ah,
Okay.
Okay, lawful good. Okay, yeah, I'm not lawful. I'm just neutral good. But my god is lawful good.
right. Okay. Yeah, right. Helm is the god of defense. Helm, Torm, and Tyr are all like
Oh, yeah,
they're
I
all
was getting mixed
BFFs. Yeah.
They're like the three knight bros.
They're the dudes that when like a priest of Tyr, a paladin of Torm, and a fighter loyal to Helm walk into a bar, the bar clears.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
they play beer pong because
So
they're all pros.
He looks at your armor, and you have the like holy symbol like clasped at your cloak. Or...
I've just realized this is really bad. Like I'm in Flan the whole time, which has the Black Fist, which are like formerly Cult of Bane. I
Yes.
think Torm killed Bane at one point.
Bane has died many times.
Yeah.
There may
They
have
probably
been,
don't like that.
There may have been a point at which, Torm is not very popular. But then Bane isn't very popular in Flan either, right? Like a lot of people in Flan consider Bane, Vale, and Merkul to be the cause of all of their woes, and like Zintil Keep got wrecked for that shit. You don't bring that here. Yeah, it's complicated. The religious political situation in Flan is complex. But yes, loyalty and duty. Anyway, the point is the dude looks at you and he's like, you're obviously the odd man out. But he shrugs it off, but he takes notice. But when he sees you're traveling with a dark elf and a kobold, immediately Graveris, can you make an insight check? Let's see how much you pick up.
I would love to.
Hmm.
Awesome. So you can see that you watch this happen on his face, but you can see immediately he assumes you're slavers or Zentarim or like
Some
you're here to
kind
do
of
bad
shady
things.
Fuckers, yeah.
Yeah.
That's probably right anyway.
And he either assumes that
I mean, you're right on one count.
he either assumes that Lane is an unwilling patsy, like he doesn't know what's going on, that he's a dummy and you've just manipulated him, or he's faking it, right? He's pretending to be a paladin for some nefarious purpose. So by extension, this guy's all about it. He loves you. He's just like, good. These are my kind of people. So yeah, he introduces himself. Do you give him a name when he says, "I'm Bevik Grimshackle"?
Yeah, but I give him some fake name.
Okay, sure.
Think of a fake but cool sounding name.
Yeah,
I give that name.
Lord Fangsworth, Dark Raventon of Castle Bloodheim Stone.
Lord Edgington.
I have descended from my dark realm in the Ticklebelly Hills.
In fact, what I give him as my name is this like commonly used like underworld pseudonym that just means like fuck off, I'm not telling you my real name.
It's like saying like Mr. Smith.
Yeah, I was about to say your name
Yeah.
is Mr. Johnson, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Well, yeah, something equivalent to that. But what's the Forgotten Realms equivalent? It would be some, reference to some god or something. I don't know.
yeah,
You know what? I say I'm Kelvin Blackstaff.
right. Yeah. So he bows. Tell him your name is Halvin Grangle. He bows and he says, good to meet you, Lord Blackstaff. Now let's go and look at the merchandise. Oh my God, Tyler Doerden. Yikes. All right. He takes you into the jail. Wow, Dealer Umbra, A+ pun game. He leads you through the gatehouse. And out into the weed-choked field. You can see as you enter, there's the tower. The field is either gravel and like rocks or mud in most places. There's a few like weedy like clusters poking up through the mud. You can see off to your left there's a big wooden pole that's been put into the ground, a big stake, and at the top of it there's a metal ring with chains hanging off it, kind of like a maypole made out of chains. And then at the end of each chain there's somebody with like a collar, and they're just like, there's like a half dozen of them just walking around in a circle. And he gestures to the folks walking around, and he says, we let them out sometimes when they are good, stretch their legs. And continues to walk towards the tower. He doesn't make any mention of the like crumbling buildings around him.
Yeah.
How attentive is this guy being to us, or is he just leading us?
He's just leading you, but you see that there are other jailers like around. On the wall, you see a couple of guys with crossbows. There's someone with a crossbow watching the people walk around in a circle.
I'm like distinctly aware of the fact that we probably can't slip away because he's noted the fact that we're all here. You know what I mean? Like he's seen us all.
Yeah, scratch that part of the plan.
So I'll just follow along. Yeah.
Yeah. We should have stepped away before, but
It doesn't matter.
no big deal.
Follow along to the tower.
Okay. So you head to Grimshackle Tower, and you enter the basement floor. He takes out a ring of keys and unlocks the door to the first level, and you enter into a large kind of open like front area, and in this area there are let's see, there's a door straight ahead that leads into the tower. The tower's got a bit of like a bib sort of out front. And so there's a door that leads straight in, and there's a couple of like side doors, and this open area has a like a little mezzanine around the top and the back. So when you walk in there, it's behind you, and a quick glance up, you can see that there's some guards. There's some guards up there as well. So he leads you into this area, and he stops and he turns and he says, he's like, you are looking for a particular kind of criminal. What work you need them for?
The people I'm representing, well, my patrons have a certain unsavory purpose in mind, which we don't need to go into the details of, but we need those who have been imprisoned.
We don't need him to be wasted away or damaged.
Fresh is best, as my friend has said, and also their
Capable.
words. They must be delivered unto you with the utmost spite and hatred of those that put them in here.
I do so love breaking people.
He like is listening and he's chuckling. He's like, yes, we're not so much with the breaking, but there are some fresh prisoners upstairs. Stay here. I have to speak with my brother a moment. And he walks over to one of the office doors to go in and to speak with his brother. You're left alone in this kind of courtyard, and there are a few guards that are just eyeing you from the balcony.
So I look to Graveris and I say, so what? We just hope he brings us the right one.
Unless you can think of a better plan.
We don't even know what this man looks like, do we?
I'm sure we'll know him when we see him.
We have a name, don't we?
You don't, actually.
Oh, never
No.
mind. We don't have a name. Well, very well. We'll just wait and see.
Okay. All right. So the halfling comes back from the office after a few uncomfortable minutes, and he comes out swinging his key ring on his finger, and he says to you as he approaches, he says, yes, I spoke with my brother. Lucarum says we have a new one that might be of use to you. You are only needing one, not more. We offer
One
a
for now.
discount on large orders.
Let's
mean-
see this one. And
I
if
mean-
it's of quality, then we can talk. Maybe you have
depends.
more of what we need.
It also depends on the discount, obviously.
Right. He says, okay, come with me. Now he walks over to the door and he goes to put the key in the lock. The main door leads into the tower, and he's like, now, don't make eye contact with them. Dangerous people in here. They might get riled up, especially seeing. And he looks over pointedly at Oleander. So be careful. I have many guards, well trained, but you are not my responsibility. You get hurt. You understand?
Of
I-
course.
I can care for myself.
So he turns the key with a chunk in the lock and pushes the door open. And you walk out into what looks like a kind of like mess area. There's the stale smell of very weak ale and gruel with like just a hint of like vomit in the air. There's a couple of tables laid out in front of you, and behind you there's another door in the center that it leads up into a staircase that goes into the tower. There are a couple of prisoners sitting at the table here. Everyone is shackled, like their hands shackled together, and you can see there's like an elven or a half elven man trying to like feed himself with his wrists like shackled together, and he's having a fucking rough time of it. At the back, there's another prisoner, his legs in shackles. He seems to be like a half orc or an orc. He's got like a dingy chef's hat on, and he's carrying a big like pot of gruel that he's just set down and slopped a bunch of it on the floor. And he's got a human, a kind of squirrely looking human, like splotting into bowls and handing it out to prisoners who are in line.
Lane,
And you're crossing this room, so you have something to say?
Lane, do we at least know if it's a human? Do we know anything? All right.
Okay. So he leads you across the mess hall, and he says to you, just kind of to the group of you, he's like, important for proper nourishment. Otherwise, they get sick. Sick prisoners are worth nothing to us. We keep them healthy.
That's good to know.
So he walks across the hall. You see that the actually, I think. I don't think it's worth an insight check, but you all can tell that they desperately hate this guy, like personally hate him, not just in a sense of like, this is my jailer, I don't like you because you're in the system that's doing this to me. They hate this guy personally. There's a lot of like murder glancing going on.
Oh, yeah.
And actually, Graveris, make a perception check. You're in your element here, Graveris. I'm gonna give you an opportunity to catch something.
You're 24.
Okay. All right. You catch the end of a thieves' cant like conversation between one of the prisoners who's just picked up his bowl and this dwarven guard that's standing nearby.
I know thieves can't.
And yeah, you know it too. Okay, all right. So you can pick this up as well. But you catch the end of it, and all it is the prisoner throws a sign for like, who are these strangers? Who are these strangers? Are they part of the plan? And then the guard is like, quiet, not now. We don't know them. Like outsiders, keep it on the DL. And that goes unnoticed by the warden or anyone else in the room, but you two, I think, pick it up. Or maybe Graveris, you pick it up, and then Oleander, you look to see what he's looking at, and you catch the end of it as well.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's ominous.
Yeah. So yeah, dwarven guard, and this random prisoner. So Bevik takes you to the door, opens the door into the stairs, and starts heading up to the second floor.
And so yeah, I'll like keep chatting him up, just like, what about the guards? How do you keep them healthy?
He says guards, like everyone else, have to eat, have to drink, have to take trips to Flan to whore around. They keep themselves healthy. We keep their wallets healthy. You might not know it from the place, old gal as she is, but we make good coin here.
Oh, I don't doubt. The architecture is very efficient.
He nods and almost as if to punctuate the point, he stops on the second floor and takes you out into the floor. And all of the floors above this are essentially the same architecture. They're like consider rings. So there's like a central ring coming out from the staircase, and then there's an outer ring of cells from the wall out. So each floor holds about, let's see, 2, 4, 6, 8, 16, like there's like 20 to 25 cells, some larger than others. And again, as to sort of punctuate the point, he walks out of the hall into the first set of cells, and immediately to the right, you can see there's a big hole in the wall, and one of the cells has fallen out onto the yard. So you're looking where the door would be, and there's just like a puddle of water on the floor, and then the floor ends, and the wind is kind of blowing into the tower, and it's freezing in here. Directly ahead of you, there are 2 cells. You can see there are prisoners in them. They're huddled at the back. The whole area is lit with lanterns. There's 1 lantern hanging by the door, which means that most of the cells around the back are probably in pitch darkness if they don't have windows. And he takes the lantern off and shines it in the window, and you can see the 2 prisoners kind of cower, and they're dressed just in like burlap rags essentially, and you can tell like they're freezing. They huddle at the back of the cell, and he looks at you and looks at them and shakes his head. He's like, "Not these ones, I think. I have a strong one. This way." And he leads you around the corner and gets a few steps ahead of you.
Cool. Yeah, who does he take us to?
So you follow him, and he gets to a big cell. The door is like wider than the others. It also has some like odd damage around the top of the frame. There's like chips in the top of the frame, and the door is sitting like out a bit. It's like bent out a little ways. And he says, "This one, we've had him a while, still very dangerous." And he looks over and he pulls over a stool that's sitting next to the door, and he climbs up and he unlocks a little lock on the metal door. And this isn't just bars; this is like a full metal door. And he pulls it aside and he looks up and he's like, "Captain, wake up, Captain!" And then you hear like a bovine snort in the other room, like a bull going like. And he's like, "That's a good boy." And he looks over his shoulder and he's like, "This one, very dangerous pirate, caught some months ago. Take a look." And he climbs down.
Didn't we specifically ask for someone fresh?
He looks at you as he makes room for someone to like look through, and he's
Yeah,
like,
I'll go look through the thing.
"It's like some prisoners keep longer than others. This one, still good meat."
It's a minotaur.
It's a
right?
minotaur. Yeah, dude's a minotaur. He's bound at the neck and the wrist, like to the wall, so he can't move. One of his horns is snapped off. The other one has like a metal cap on it, and his chest. He's naked. His chest, his big burly human chest, is covered in like nautical tattoos. He's got a big ship across his chest, like an anchor on one arm, like just all over. And I think you actually make a history check. You might recognize this guy.
Oh, it's an actual guy.
It's an actual guy.
Actual guy. Okay. So all you know with a 7 is that the Moon Sea has lots of pirates, and you maybe have heard like a rumor of a Minotaur captain, but you don't remember his name or any of the story that goes along with him.
And so it's a Bevek. His name's Bevek, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just saying. A rare find, but regrettably not in my patron's wheelhouse, let's say.
He nods and he shouts. I guess he shouts up into the hole. He's like, "Sorry, Captain, not today." And you just hear more like snorting and like the kind of groaning of the shackles on the wall. Maybe the click of like the captain's hoof on the floor as he's like trying to like pull away.
Yeah, like straining, like scraping across the stone.
Yeah. And he closes it and he locks the thing and he says, "Probably for the best. Very dangerous, that one. Come on, upstairs." And he leads you the rest of the way around and back to the spiral staircase. So you climb up the spiral stairs another floor, and he says he doesn't stop on this floor. He says, "This floor, mostly prisoners, come here from bounties, injured, weak. We use them for work. Rent them out for people building castles, noble lords, that sort of thing. They're garbage. You don't want them. And you have someone."
Yeah, and like when he says noble lords, I'm like looking at Blaine, just like, mm-hmm.
Yeah, he says,
clowns in the system, Blaine.
He says, "We have one. New, fresh. Pretty, too, if you like that sort of thing. Strong, though. We caught her on the Iron Route. Come on." And he takes you up to the top floor.
Oh, yes, the Iron Route.
So you step out of the top floor into a room that has its own, like, it's a quarter of the top level 4. So it's the sort of northwest corner. There's a table, and it's like a little guard station. So there are 3 guards here playing, like, I don't know, 3 Dragon Ante or something. It's playing some card game. And they look up when you come in for a second and look back down and keep playing. They're off duty, but they have like weapons nearby. And you can see on the weapon rack that they have, they don't have any like swords or anything. They're not like killing implements, but they have lots of nasty looking weapons. And maybe, I don't know, maybe Oleander, you recognize a few of them, but
I'm sure I do.
They're definitely the weapons of like slavers and torturers, right? Like we're talking about like barbed whips, like man catchers with the big teeth on the inside, the kind of thing that would hurt and disable you, but not permanently damage you.
Yeah.
And they have lots of them. And and this group is just like playing cards, and they look at their boss and they nod, and he's like, "Yeah, just stay, play your game. I'm going to show them the new one." And one of them is like, "Cell 5, boss." And he's like, I know where the prisoners are." And he walks over and unlocks the door and leads you around the ring towards the cell.
So what can you tell us about this one? I hope it's not another, well, like downstairs.
He nods and he says, "This one, spirited. Put 2 of my guards in the infirmary just the other day. Some kind of bandit lieutenant, I think. Sent to us from south, from Flan. I think because the Black Fist couldn't handle her. There's no prisoner we can't handle.
Fresh
men,
and spirited, eh?
It's my men. They are trained, well trained. Though I think maybe you could teach them something." And he like gives you this kind of lascivious like up and down.
Indeed.
There's just the tiniest hint of my sword being ready to draw.
Yeah, the faint click. So
Quite an arsenal you had back there. I could indeed make good use of it at another time, perhaps.
Show us this, Lieutenant.
He he takes you to this door. So it's got a big 5 marked on it, and he knocks on it. He's like, tuk, 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 and he's like, you maybe have visitors, princess. And then does anyone speak Orcish?
Oh, they're doing that trope, huh?
I do
No, I
not.
don't speak Orcish.
Okay, in the black tongue of Mordor, someone spits a curse from the other room, and then he laughs and he says, "Take a look." And he pulls the little window open.
Yeah, who's in here?
So in the cell, there's a half orc woman clad in the same filthy rags that everyone's given. And she's lashed to the wall by a heavy chain, but she's got some space. So she's got it like her neck is like chained to the wall, but she's got some room. And she's just sitting on the floor. And she looks like she's been in a fight recently. She has long black hair that's in like plates that's been like it hasn't been cut off, but she's got it like in a kind of ponytail at the back of her head. She doesn't have any tattoos that you can see. She's maybe got like, a swollen eye, and one of her tusks has a chip in it, but she looks like she gave as good as she got. Like she's not like as beaten as some of the prisoners you saw outside. As Bevik promised, she does look fresh. She hasn't been here that long.
So, Graveris, what do you think? This one?
Not Graveris.
Not Graveris.
Kelvin,
Fake name,
whatever.
Kelvin Blackstaff.
Right. Lord Gregel.
Con man here. This one could do. What's the going rate?
He says, he grins and he's like, yes, good. I don't know. We have books. My brother keeps them. I should have checked before I came up here.
Is there a discount for those that are difficult? Inconvenience of transporting her is going
He's
to
like, let me get you the price before you start haggling. Here, hold on. And he hands the lantern to you, Graveris.
Sure.
And he says, I will go down. I'll check. All those stairs. Why we built a tower. Ugh. And you hear him, his little bare feet flapping on the stone as he waddles back towards the staircase and leaves you alone in the...
Yeah, how's the store locked?
He's got a key ring that unlocks the door from
but there's
the
like
inside.
there's a keyhole or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna pick this lock.
Okay. All right. Well, why don't we take a break before you do that? You approach the lock ready to pick, and we'll grab our second break here. Does that sound good? Okay. Cool. So we'll take a break. We'll hang out, and when we come back, we'll see if you can. You're going straight for the lockpick, huh? We'll see how that goes. All right. Stick around. We will be right back.